Unmotivated athletes should watch this. Number one, I would say, is find out why you're not motivated. Do you like wrestling? Do you really want to be a state champion or wrestle in college, or whatever your goals might be? And if the answer is a clear and decisive yes, well, then that's a good thing. But if it's not, then find something that you're passionate about, right? Or maybe you're someone who says, I like wrestling, but my main sport is baseball. I want to be a college baseball player. Well, then I get it, right? So, this video is not for you unless you're unmotivated in baseball. And then you can continue watching. But I understand that there's a lot of athletes out there who are hardworking wrestlers, but they're simply not going to train year-round. They certainly can't even ask their parents. They shouldn't ask their parents for, to send them to a summer camp in wrestling when it's just something they kind of do on the side, but they really, 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 they've got a $900 baseball bat. I don't know if there's even baseball bats. There might be. But you get my drift. But if you're a wrestler and you say, yes, I really honestly do want to wrestle in college, okay. So now we know that you actually want to do this. I would say find out why you're not, find out what motivates you, right? It really isn't finding out why you're not motivated. You're not motivated because you get distracted, because there's no magnet pulling you. I tell our kids at camp, a lot of it's just the mind, right? It's just your mind and how it works. I'm driving, it's kind of snowing a little bit here, flurrying. I remember as a kid, you think, oh, I don't want to go to school. You're feeling sorry for yourself, and your mom says, you're halfway done getting dressed, and she's like, hey, there's no school. School just got canceled. Boom, you have all the energy in the world. You feel like crap. You're feeling sorry for yourself. You're grouchy, maybe even being a jerk. Boom, you step on the scale, you make weight. You feel like $1 million when you step off the scale. You haven't even had a sip of water yet. Why? Okay? I tell my kids at camp, practice starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they start at 10 a.m. We rotate. I guarantee you, if we were at fun summer camp, not that our camp isn't fun, but it is work, right? It's part of it. And you were going to go canoeing with the cute cheerleaders, you would have been here on time. You would have carried a canoe up a mountain on a broken ankle to go canoeing with the cheerleaders. But when it's wrestling practice, right, sometimes we sit out because we twisted our pinky when you could tape it and go, right? So a lot of it comes down to just how the mind works. You have to, you can supersede all of that if you say, no, I made a promise to myself, right? So find out what motivates you. For me, when I was a kid, I would look at the national rankings. Some people say national rankings don't matter. You know what? I think they do. The colleges look at them every freaking day, right? State rankings matter too. Not sure if I'm supposed to be ranked second and I'm only ranked fifth, and there's some argument. I mean, whatever. I got to go get the job done, right? If I'm climbing and I'm only ranked 18th and I've got to wrestle the 7th ranked wrestler, then it doesn't matter that much, right? So it doesn't really matter as far as outcomes, because you can be ranked. I know when I was in college, I was ranked number 1 in the nation, and I lost at the nationals, right? It sucked. I was All-American, but I didn't win it. Should have been more prepared, right? It's part of it. Winning that thing is difficult, right? There's Olympians who haven't won an NCAA title. It's not easy. State titles are hard to win nowadays too. Back in your dad's time, in my time, it was a joke. Now winning a state title is very difficult, especially the larger classes. To find out what motivates you, right? So when I was a kid, I would look at the rankings because it mattered to me. And it might not matter to you, so don't do it, right? I knew I had a teammate, he was an NCAA champion several times. He had a brown medal hanging in his locker. He was not motivated. He was motivated by pain of defeat. That worked for him. I was more motivated by staring at the future glory, right? daydreaming about being a state champ, wrestling, at a great famous college, who knows, maybe even making a world team one day, all of that. Some of you might be motivated by both, okay? So, find out what motivates you and then surround yourself with it. So I constantly would pick up these magazines and I would read. And I would look at the pictures of the famous guys like Lee Kemp, Barry Davis, who I actually got to wrestle later in my career. He was way older and I was a college guy. He ripped my head off, but I was so excited to get to wrestle one of my idols, right? But I would look at this. I had kept posters on my walls of famous wrestlers, and I daydreamed about having a poster of myself one day, right? Never happened. But I think I had a way better than most people sort of career because I constantly did that. So if you just will sit down with a piece of paper and write down what motivates you and then surround yourself with that. It might be a handful of things, right? A motivating factor for me was I always liked to give my weight bracket to my dad because he liked to carry those things out. I was a big weight bracket guy. I didn't care about a medal. You can throw it in the trash. A weight bracket had history on it. I had my opponent's name on. I kind of owned that person. I owned their name. It was exciting, right? And I always put my medal around my mom's neck because I didn't like carrying that stuff out. I kind of thought it looked like bragging. You may not. You may want to carry it out. That might be what motivates you, right? That's cool too. I don't care. I'm just saying if you're unmotivated, find out if you want to do this. Number 2, find out what motivates you. And if it's 2 or 3 things, surround yourself with 10 of it, Motivational quotes. Have it in 10 different places in the house and on your iPhone screen. If brown metals motivate you, put 10 of them around. Hang one on the wall so when you're going to the toilet, you sit and stare at it. I don't know. Just figure it out. You have to immerse yourself. It's like marinating a piece of meat. You want to marinate your brain in your motivation, okay? Lastly, commit to finding a way, right? There's so many excuses. I've had kids whose parents had money. They would buy candy bars and sell them at Walmart. I remember when I was in high school, I was like, no booster club. I'm not doing that. It's going to be me and the same 5 kids and the same 3 parents. Sure enough, second year, the AD said, you have to have a booster club. Parents are complaining. Oh, here we go. Had a booster club. It was always me. Same 3 kids, same few parents. It was silly. So my 3rd year, I go, we're not having a booster club. We're going to have our individual booster club. So every kid on my team had their own chance to raise money. And I'd throw fundraisers at them. Once every 3 weeks, we had a fundraiser. You want to go to wrestling camp? Here's your individual fundraiser. We're not buying a mat for everybody. It's your individual fundraiser. You'll get shoes, knee pads. You can go to camp, whatever you want. Same 3 or 4 kids did it, right? So there you go. The other kids, they're in their mommies and daddies like, we need more money. Well, no, when I gave you the opportunity, you didn't do it because they didn't want to find a way. Some people they get emotional, but they don't really find a way. Don't get emotional about it. Be committed. We've all blown it. We've all been lazy. I fight laziness every day. So does everyone watching this. You just have to be good at it, right? I know when I was a kid, I liked wrestling. I was 11. I started. When I was 12, I heard about the home wrestling mat. But what the hell's a home wrestling mat? My friends told me they had one. I'm like, I gotta get one of those. Sold my 4-wheeler. Bought a home wrestling mat, right? Sophomore year, had to learn how to cut weight. I got Jane Brody's nutrition guide. I outlined it. Oh, now I'm a nutritional master, right? I'm just saying, find a way, not bragging. You have classmates who have figured out how to get an A in math when they suck at math because they want to go to a certain college and they had to have an A in math. They found a way, right? They quit going to the parties. They quit this. You have to give some things up in your life. So the 3rd leg of this is find a way, right? If you want to go to some wrestling camp, Go raise money, right? Or rake leaves for the neighbor. Do it. Go find a way. Find a way. How about workout partners? You can find one. You can't tell me you can't find one. I got kids right now all over the state of Missouri. The Missouri rules are against. I mean, you'll almost get thrown in a concentration camp if you practice outside of your high school. It's silly. The rule book, which I've read it inside out, says to maintain competitive equality. There are powers that be out there that are trying to maintain competitive equality. So you got to fight that, right? I got kids who are driving 45 minutes. They're practicing with each other. They're going to the middle school wrestling room. They somehow have a key because the youth coach knows how to get in there. I've got kids practicing in each other's basement on their home wrestling mat. Find a way, right? So if you find a way, you can find a way. But the problem is sometimes we get lazy. We're not willing to find a way because you get sidetracked because you're not surrounding yourself with your goals. There's my advice, tips for laziness. You'll fight laziness your whole life. Just accept it, right? We're always going to be lazy. Look at this. Everything is an opportunity to grow, opportunity to push myself. I had a good thing I posted on Instagram. I thought I was on weight, but I'm 2 pounds over. Good. Opportunity to push myself. My mom's going to make me do a list of chores. Good. Opportunity to push myself. Once I learn to push myself better than 95% of the human beings, I can be top 5% in anything that I do. Opportunity to push myself. Coach says, hey, guess what? I was going to let us out at 4:30, but we're going to have to go to 5. We didn't get everything done. That's fine. I'll go an hour. What do I care? Opportunity to push myself. Opportunity to build. Opportunity to build and grow. Because we don't just want to develop our single leg. We want to develop our tenacity to work, our ambition to work, our desire to thrive and succeed, to grow, your heart, your mind, your competitiveness, your toughness. It's like calluses, right? I got sissy hands. My dad and grandpa were iron workers. They had iron worker hands. You couldn't even touch your hands. It was like grabbing a clod of dirt, right? They were so hard and rough. They had calloused hands. Some people have calloused minds and hearts. They're tough, right? So think about that. Opportunity. Oh, good. Extra 30 minutes to practice. Now, you're not going to go say that to everybody because they'll think you're a goon, right? You don't want to be popping off. Keep everything inside. Be selfish. John Smith told us no less than 10,000 times. You be selfish, right? When it comes to your wrestling, your thoughts, your ambition, your desires, your work ethic, you be selfish. You don't worry about the teammates. Sure, you might kick them in the butt every once in a while. You're going to help a kid that's crying. You're going to help some kid with a single leg who's new, all right? You're going to help people. But, you should not be getting sidetracked. If a team's getting beat, coach's job. I got to win my match. I'm not going to be affected emotionally because my team gets beat. I'm not going to do it. I'm selfish. I'm kind of rigid and tough, right? So there's some good advice, I think. Good luck to you. Hopefully this helps. Share this with kids that you know that need some ambition or, they're fighting their laziness. This is good advice. Good luck.